On July 3rd, rocks came crashing down onto US-95 a few miles south of Riggins, severing the state in half. US-95 is Idaho's only north-south route, and without it, drivers had to detour several hours out of state to make it to their destinations. Maintenance crews immediately responded over the 4th of July holiday weekend, attempting to clear boulders that were larger than small houses. The debris field covered more than 120 feet of the highway and was 40 feet deep. The crew hoped to have the road open in time for travelers returning home for the holiday weekend, but continued movement on the slope made it too dangerous to keep working. Geologists and other specialists were called to the site to establish a monitoring system to track the tiniest of movements so work could resume. Crews then constructed a gravel road around the base of the slide and protected it by building a berm topped with metal containers. With no movement reported, they opened the highway for the first time on July 8th. But a crack opened up visibly in the rock face, prompting crews to shut it down hours later. That decision saved lives as a second rock slide on July 10th buried the temporary road and crumpled the containers. This slide was just as large as the first. The biggest boulder was 50 feet long and weighed more than 7 million pounds. A new monitoring system had to be installed, and this time other devices that would provide real-time data were added. It was clear the slope was far from stable and a long-term fix was needed. Explosive specialists were brought in to blast the largest rocks and reopen the highway. Meanwhile, crews repaired an alternate route across the river to reconnect the state, and engineering staff started to design long-term repairs. US-95 opened to daytime traffic on July 27th and to nighttime traffic a few days later. By the middle of August, a contractor had started work to reduce the chance of another slide occurring. Drillers prepared the area for a series of blasts to remove more than 15,000 cubic yards of rock. That's the same amount of material it would take to cover a football field with 7 feet of debris. After blasting, specialists spent weeks scaling the slope, knocking loose debris off the rock face. A helicopter was brought in for the final step to stabilize the slope, which involved placing cable netting to hold it in place and to keep any small rocks from reaching the road. Only then could crews finally reconstruct the highway. Just a few months after the route was first blocked, traffic was able to resume unimpeded and without threat of another slide.